Hello dear students of Third Prep Science for a new episode that we have today, a general revision about all points and all lessons that we studied before in this term. Let's go to say welcome to Mr. Wائل. Hi Mr. Wائل.
Welcome Mr. Muhammad, welcome our student.
Okay, today we have different types of questions as we have in the previous episodes, but at the same time we hope you call us at our number. At the same time we are welcome to your participation in this episode. Okay, let's go to start our revision today with first question as we have give reason for. Okay, first give reason. Here we have to say velocity and force are vector physical quantities. So here we have velocity and force are vector physical quantities. So here we should know we have many types or many examples about the vector physical quantities, as we have velocity, force, gravity, acceleration, weight, and so on. So we have to answer here according to what? According to vector. So what is meant by vector quantity? So we should know vector quantity because they define or identify by magnitudes and direction. So here we answer according to vector physical quantity. We identify or define them by magnitude and direction. Okay. Second question here, number 2. The velocity of the body which moves in a straight line, its displacement equal its distance. خلي بالنا, in this case the body moves with what? In a straight line. Okay. In this case, in one direction, its displacement equal its distance. طبعا هنا we can define what? Yes, we can define displacement although because in this case the displacement or this distance or the distance is what? خلي بالنا قلت the distance, but in this case distance is the shortest straight line between 2 points. 2 points. We define what here? We define here, as you see, we define displacement, but at the same time we say that in this case distance is the shortest straight line between 2 points. Okay. Mr. Wائل, you have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Just problem.
Just problem, okay.
If a train moved 100 kilometers with regular speed of 180 kilometers per hour, then the driver applied the brakes, so its speed decreased by rate.
So just we have a little break, then we will return back to complete this problem. Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back, dear students. Let's go to complete this problem with Mr. Wائل. Okay, Mr. Wائل, let's go to start this problem again.
Okay. If a train moved 100 kilometers with regular speed of 180 kilometers per hour, then the driver applied the brakes, so the speed decreased by rate 2 meters per second square. Find number 1, its speed after 10 seconds. This is number 1. Number 2, acceleration during the first 100 kilometer. Okay, so Mr. Muhammad, first we have to know that the train moved with regular speed.
Yes.
For what distance?
For the first 100 kilometer.
Yes.
Yes.
And he asked me about the acceleration during the first 100 kilometer.
Yes.
So the answer of this point is acceleration equal what?
We have here the body moves with regular speed.
Yes.
So we have no acceleration.
Yes. So acceleration equal what?
Equal 0.
Acceleration equal 0.
Yes.
Why?
Because the final speed equal the initial speed.
Because this train moved with regular speed.
Yes.
Number 2, he needs to find the speed after 10 seconds from using the brakes.
Yes.
Now, what are givens?
We have two speeds here.
Number 1, he gave us the time.
Yes.
Time equal 10 seconds.
Yes.
Number 2,
we have the...
It's a revise.
Yes.
He gave us what?
The initial speed.
He gave us, he said that the speed decreased by rate 2 meters per second
So we
square.
have acceleration here.
Yes. So now we have the acceleration. A equal 2 meters per second square. And we need V1.
But we need to write beside the 2 meters per second power 2 here, we need to write negative because the acceleration is decreasing speed here.
Yes.
During time unit. Yes.
Yes, this is the point.
Yes.
Negative. Why? Because he said decreased.
Yes.
Okay, we need V1 and we need V2. He asked about V2.
Yes.
V2 equal what?
Because the body here stop.
No, he didn't say stop.
Yes.
He said find its speed after.
Yes.
So he needs V2.
Yes.
Why? Because he said after. So it's V2.
Yes.
Final velocity.
Yes.
Or final speed. So first, what have I get?
Yes.
I need V1.
Yes.
But how can I get V1?
From the first point or the first speed that this train moves with.
Yes, very good. So he said that the train moved with the speed 180 kilometers per hour. But there is another trick here.
Yes.
What is it?
We should convert from 100 kilometers per hour to meter per second.
Yes, very good. So now we have to say that V1 equal
100 kilometer times
180
kilometer
by 5 over 80.
Yes.
So it will be 50
meter
per second.
Yes.
Now we can answer it easily.
Yes.
V2 equal V1 plus 80. V2 equal V1 is 50 plus A negative 2 by T is 10 seconds. So it will be 50
minus
2 by 10.
20, yes.
20. So it will be 30 meters per second.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wائل, for this problem. We should hear, dear students, to know how we convert from kilometer per hour to meter per second, and how can we read the problem step by step, because we should know the main points in the problem as the given and at the same time the request of this problem. Okay, let's go to complete with another question, as we have here give reason for. The light rays falls parallel to the principal axis of what happens here of concave mirror. هنا بيقول لي what happens if the light ray falls parallel to the principal axis of concave mirror. we should know the light ray here will reflect. Why will reflect? Because here we talk about what? We talk about the mirror here, the mirror, concave mirror. But the light reflects how? The light here reflects how? أقول له هنا the light falls parallel to the principal axis. أقول له reflects through focus. If we have lens here, not mirror, we should say refract instead of reflect. But we talk about what? We talk about mirror, and especially here we have concave mirror. Number 5, what happens when the light rays falls parallel to the principal axis of the convex lens? Here we have convex lens. And at the same time we have the same case as the previous question, زي السؤال اللي فات. Parallel to the principal axis. أقول له هنا refracts through what? Focus. So you should know here we deal with what? We talk about lens, so we should say refracts, not reflects. Okay, number 6, what happens when the final speed of an object is less than initial speed? The final speed less than initial speed. So here we have V what? V2 less than V1. So here in this case we talk about what? We talk about, yes, decelerating motion or decreasing acceleration or negative acceleration. So we have to say the body moves with what? With decreasing acceleration or deceleration or negative acceleration. Why? Because in this case the initial speed is greater than final speed. Okay, Mr. Wa'il, we have another question.
Another problem.
Yes, okay.
As you see, our dear student, in this figure, an object moved from A to B in a circular path. Then it moved from B to C. Then from C to D in circular path, making quarter revolution. And the distance between B and C is 4 meters. Now he needs displacement, then he needs distance. How can we solve this problem? Number 1, displacement. What's meant by displacement? Displacement is the shortest straight line between the initial and the final positions. Where is the initial? It is A. Where is final? It is D. So displacement between A and D is the shortest straight line. But how can we get it?
Mr. Wa'il, يعني stop here بس. We have a phone caller from القاهرة. رؤية from Cairo. Hello رؤية.
الو
الو
انا يا مستر رقية من الغربية.
من الغربية، اتفضلي. معلش سوري.
لا عادي.
اتفضلي.
مستر انا كنت عايزة اشارك.
عايزة تشاركي. طب اوكي Mr. Wa'il have a question here as a problem. How can you participate and how can you answer this problem with Mr. Wa'il? Look at the monitor or screen at your home. بصي على التلفزيون كده على الشاشة وخليكي مع Mr. Wa'il هو هيقول البروبلم. يلا.
Okay, رؤية. This object moved from A to B, then from B to C, then from C to D. He needs displacement. And he gave me that from B to C equal 4 meters. Now, what is the displacement, رؤية?
displacement هتبقى A دي هتبقى 4 meters.
Very good, رؤية. Why?
Because the displacement is the shortest straight line between the start point and the end point.
Very good, but how can you know that it is equal 4 meters, not 5, not 6, not 3?
عشان هي هتساوي الدايمتر diameter والdiameter BC بيساوي ال AD.
Very good, Ruqayya. This is first one. So it equals 4 meter because the shortest straight line here between A to D equal from B to C because they are equal. They are the diameter equal 4 meter. Number 2, distance.
Distance هيبقى half circumference بتاع الcircle.
Ruqayya, why why half?
عشان ال object moved from moved AB و CD هتبقى الهاف.
Yes, AB quarter and CD quarter, so it is half 2 by R. Another thing or it's okay?
تمام.
Can you revise? He moved from A to B and from B to C
تمام.
and from C to D.
ماشي.
Now you answered about A to B then C to D, but you ignored from B to C.
ماشي، ما احنا هنعمل plus
Yes.
diameter.
Yes, very good, Ruqayya. So it equal half by 2 by 3.14 by R. R equal what?
2.
Yes, very good. So it will be 6.28 plus 4, so it will be what? 10.28. So Ruqayya,
أيوة.
good job, as Mr. Muhammad said to you the previous one.
Thank you, Ruqayya, and we hope you to participate with us at the next episode, inshallah. Thank you. So here we have another type of question, as we have what happens when we have two cases here. We have to know what happens in these cases. Okay, let's go to start with the first one, as we have a starfish loses an arm. هنا on the monitor please. بيقول starfish loses an arm. لو الستارفيش حصل ان هو loses one from its arms، لو فقد واحدة من الارمز بتاعته. So here we know starfish can reproduce and can compensate the missing part by regeneration. اقول له هنا يبقى the starfish او can form a new arm by regeneration. طبعا between brackets what we have central disk, because without central disk the starfish can't regenerate or can't compensate the missing arm. Number 2, what happens when no nucleus in the cell? No nucleus in the cell. We have no nucleus in the cell. In this case يبقى اقول له cell can't divide and will die, because we know nucleus is the center of the vital activities of the cell. Any cell طبعا, as we have somatic cells and we have the reproductive cells. Here we have another type of questions, as we have to compare between sexual and asexual reproduction. How can we compare here between the two different types of reproduction? Number 1, we should know sexual reproduction by what? How many parents? By 2 parents, male and female. يبقى asexual reproduction by 1 parent, no male, no female. Number 2, by mitosis, cell division, but sexual هنا معلش هرجع كده حاجة بس صغيرة. sexual reproduction by combination between male and female gametes, as we studied before, as sperms or ova or pollen grains. Here in asexual reproduction by mitosis division. So if we return back to sexual reproduction, here in number 3, offspring, which means the new individuals, the new generation, differ than parents, not similar, not identical. So here we have what? We have variation. We have variation, عندنا تنوع. So if we have give reason for, number 1, offspring is differ, or we have variation in the genetic traits, we have to answer why? Because sexual reproduction depends on two parents by combination between male and female gametes forming zygote, or to form zygote. But here in the asexual reproduction, هقول offspring, which means the new generation, is what? Identical. Identical to the parents. يعني نسخة طبق الأصل. No genetic variation. No differentiation between offspring. Why? Because number 1, it depends on one parent by mitosis cell division. Okay, Mr. Wire, you have a question?
Another comparing.
Yes.
Compare between real image and virtual image. What are the points that we can compare between real and virtual image? Number 1, definition. What's real image? It is the image that can be received on a screen, while virtual can't be received on a screen. This is number 1. Real can be received on a screen, but virtual can't be received on a screen. Number 2, the real image comes from intersection as focus. Intersection between what? Intersection of reflected or refracted light rays themselves from intersection of reflected or refracted light rays, while virtual comes by or comes from intersection of extensions of reflected by mirrors or refracted, that's used to be by the lens, reflected or refracted light rays. Okay, Mr. Muhammad.
Okay, here we have to know how can we differentiate between the real image and the virtual image. Real image can be received on the screen, virtual image can't be received on the screen. If we have give reason for why the real image can be received on the screen, because it's formed due to the intersection of the reflected or refracted rays. But the virtual image can't be received on the screen. How due to the intersection of the extensions of the reflected or the refracted light rays. As we have here a new type of question, as we have complete the following statements, as we have here number 1. ابتدي بيها بيقول لي what and what are the two types of the cells in the living organism. We have two types of the cells, Mr. Wa'il. What and what cells?
Reproductive cells and
يبقى,
somatic cells.
يبقى we have reproductive and somatic cells. We know somatic cells are the all body cells except the reproductive cells.
Excuse me, Mr. Muhammad. Sometimes there is a confusion between reproductive and gametes. You can explain it for our student.
Reproductive cells.
Yes, between reproductive cells and gametes.
Yes, reproductive cells exist in the reproductive organs.
Yeah.
As testes in male and ovaries in female. Okay, so here we have two types. The reproductive cells are divided meiotically, but the somatic cells are divided mitotically. We should differentiate between the type of division in each one of them. Number 2, the chromosomes or the chromosome is chemically consist of what and what. We should know here the chemical structure. The chemical structure. خلي بالنا قال لي في الكويستشن chemically. Because if you have no chemical structure, we will answer by another way. So here we have to know the chromosome chemically consists of طبعا DNA and protein. Because if the question between without the chemically, we can say two chromatids and one centromere. Two chromatids and one centromere if we have no chemically. لو هو قال لي chromosome consists of اقول له طبعا two chromatids and one centromere. Number 3, the number of chromosomes is what in the individuals of the same species. The number of chromosomes is what in the same species. We have here to know the number of chromosome is what is constant. The number of chromosome is constant يعني ثابت in the individuals of the same species. As in human, for example, طبعا not a question, as 46 chromosomes in human, 48 chromosomes in gorilla, 12 chromosomes in mosquito, for examples. يعني يبقى each individual in the human race has 46 chromosomes. So here we have constant number in the same species, يعني نفس النوع. Number 4, here we have, there are two types of cell division which are what and what. We have two only types of cell division, as we have the mitosis and meiosis. Or we can say, or call them by another way, as we have mitotic and meiotic. طبعا we know mitosis as mitotic, meiosis as meiotic. Okay, Mr. Wa'il, I think you have another problem or question.
What happened?
What happened? Okay.
This time what happened?
Okay, any question?
What happened if light ray passes through optical center of a lens? What happened? It goes without refraction. It goes without refraction. Second one, what happened if light ray passes through center of a concave mirror? This time, if the light ray passes through center of a concave mirror, it reflects on itself. Why it reflects on itself? Because the angle of incidence equal the angle of reflection equal 0. Okay, Mr. Muhammad.
Okay. Here we have another type of question, as we have problem about the lenses and mirrors. How can we know the properties of the image through a plane mirror or through a spherical mirror or the lenses? Object at distance more than focal length but less than double focal length in front of concave mirror. Firstly, we should use what here to draw the problem. لازم نستخدم ايه؟ طبعا we should use the protractor to draw the arc firstly. Then we should use the ruler to draw what? The two equal distances here between the pole of the mirror, focus, and the what? And the center of curvature. Center of what? Of curvature. So we will use what? The ruler. Okay? As here we have two equal distances. بكررها تاني. By the ruler. Using the pencil with ruler only. So here we have as 0, 3, 6. Okay? Then we will move away the ruler and we have what? Object at distance what? We know here P, pole of the mirror. Number 2, focus. Number 3, center of curvature. The object at distance more than focal length but less than double focal length in front of the concave mirror. So here the object between the center of curvature and focus. Okay, we should know number 1 or the case number 1, light falls what? Light falls parallel to the principal axis from the head of the object. So here the light falls parallel to the principal axis. So in this case the light will reflect through focus. Okay? At the same time, the light, another light ray, falls through the focus as another case. Here falls through the focus. In this case, the light will reflect parallel to the principal axis, as you see here. Okay? So we have what? In this case, we have object after center of curvature. The object after the center of curvature, as you see here. The object is what? Is big. أهو تاني. Number 1. The image is طبعا inverted or upside down. Number 2, real. Number 3, magnified. Number 4, after center of curvature, after C. So how can we differentiate between the different types? We should use the cases of the or the method to draw, as we have light ray parallel to the principal axis, reflect through focus, and case number 2, the light ray passes through the focus and then reflect parallel to the principal axis, as the point of intersection is here. So we will draw the head here and we will complete the straight line toward the principal axis. Don't forget to draw the hind of the mirror and the front of the mirror. Okay, Mr. Wائل.
This question is related to write the scientific term. Write the scientific term. Number 1, it's very famous. Exchange parts of inner chromatids during prophase first. Exchange parts of inner chromatids during prophase first. What this phenomenon? It's called crossing over. Crossing over phenomenon. Number 2, an optical piece that forms literally inverted image. An optical piece open many files, maybe lenses, maybe mirrors, and we have a lot of types of mirrors. So what he means here, an optical piece that forms literally inverted, not inverted. If you say inverted, we have a lot of types, but he say here literally inverted. So we have only one answer. It is the plane mirror. Plane mirror.
Because laterally inverted is
yes.
which means reversed.
Yes,
معكوس
means
يعني.
reversed. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
Okay, here we have another type of question as give reason for. So we'll start with this give reason for. Some person have a short sight or short-sightedness. ليه بعض الناس عندهم قصر نظر. As me طبعا, number one, أقوله we have 3 reasons. Number one, eyeball diameter increases. Number two, eye lens becomes more convex. So number 3, image is formed what before or in front, before or in front of the retina. طبعا we know retina is the screen أو الشبكية بتاعة الeyes. طبعا هنا we have give reason for why we use concave lens to treat the short-sightedness. طبعا here we have only one reason. We will answer أقول له because the eye lens is what؟ هقول له eye lens مالها؟ eye lens more أو becomes more convex. So we treat the short-sightedness by concave lens. Okay, the next question is what? Galaxies move away from each other, as we have a question from unit 3 here. Galaxies move away from each other. ليه الجالاكسيز بتبعد عن بعضها؟ هقول له due to أو because the universe in continuous expansion. الكون في تمدد مستمر. And if we say give reason for why the universe in continuous expansion, although because the galaxies move away from each other. So we have question and answer, and we have a question at the same time we have the answer. Okay, Mr. Wائل.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad. Give reason for red blood cells can't make cell division. It's not famous question.
Yes.
Yeah, red blood cells can't make cell division because they don't have nuclei. Because they don't have nuclei. As you know, our students, presence of nucleus is very important. Nucleus is charge of making the cell division. Without nucleus, the cell can't make the cell division. And red blood cells don't have cell division. So after six months, I think, they die and burn new red blood cells. Number 2, cars can't move with regular speed. Cars can't move with regular speed. The answer, that's due to conditions of roads. We have a lot of bumps in our roads, and traffic. Cars can't move with regular speed due to conditions of roads and traffic. Another one, sexual reproduction is the source of genetic variation. Sexual reproduction is the source of genetic variation. Why? Because it depends on two parents. Because it depends on not one but two parents. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wائل. We have another type of questions, as here we talk about complete the following statements as what reproduction occurs in the higher living organism. خلي بالنا بيقول in the higher living organism، يعني living organism more developed، متطورة. طبعا here we have what reproduction? We have sexual reproduction. Number 2, fertilization is the combination of male and female gametes to form what? A what? طبعا here we know the expression of fertilization as we have combination between male and female gametes forming a what? A zygote, but at the same time which contains the normal number of what? Yes, the normal number of chromosomes طبعا normal number or the complete number of chromosome as 2n or diploid. Number 3, binary fission, budding and what or what and vegetative reproduction are the type of asexual reproduction. We have how many types? We have binary fission or methods يعني binary fission, budding, what? Yes, we have spores propagation, spores propagation, and we have at the same time regeneration, so we have how many? Binary fission, budding, spores propagation, regeneration, and vegetative are reproduction, or types of reproduction as asexual reproduction. The next question is, in reproduction by budding, one of the two produced nuclei remains in the what and the other migrate to the what. هنا طبعا we should know in reproduction by budding one of the two produced nuclei طبعا nuclei جمع nucleus remains هتفضل in the what and the other migrates يعني تهاجر أو تتحرك to the what. So here in reproduction by budding, one of the two cells produced nuclei in the mother cell or the original cell هتفضل موجودة زي ما هي. And the other migrate to the buds, which means here the new cell. Okay. Next question is, in starfish, arms could be regenerated and give out a complete animal if they contain a part of what? طبعا of it. طبعا we know there is no regeneration without, yes, central disc. So again, in starfish, arms could be regenerated and give out complete animal if they contain a part at least of the central disc. The next question is, vegetative reproduction in plants needs no what, but these plants reproduce by what organ? Here, vegetative reproduction in plants, as we studied in second prep, no reproductive organs. No reproductive organs. طبعا مش محتاج no reproductive organs, but these plants reproduce by what? By somatic organs or by vegetative organs. By vegetative organs as stem or leaves or roots. عشان كده سميناها vegetative reproduction. Okay, Mr. Wائل, you have a question?
Yes, complete.
اتفضل.
Another complete.
Yes.
Number 1, a smaller virtual, a bright image is formed by a smaller virtual upright image is formed by what? Now if I said virtual upright, a lot of types of lenses and mirrors can form this image, but when I say smaller, so I only have convex mirror or concave lens because it is smaller. Number 2, spindle fibers are formed by space in animal cell and by space in plant cell. They are different. Number 1, spindle fiber are formed by in animal cell by centrosome. So neural cells can't make cell division because they don't have centrosome. And in plant cell by what? Cytoplasm. Cytoplasm. So spindle fibers formed by centrosome in animal cell and by cytoplasm in plant cell. Number 3, mass is an example for space physical quantity. Scalar or vector, mass is scalar because it doesn't have direction. Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you, Mr. Wa'il. Thank you, all students, for your participation, your questions. We are waiting for you for the next episode. Thank you today. See you. Goodbye.